countdown.
Wow. I like that.
Thank you.
You did good.
Getting
Was
better.
Is that on the whiteboard or that was just a video?
No, that was a video. I couldn't. I've got a thing, but I couldn't do the whiteboard.
Okay.
It's just you wouldn't have been able to see it.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet or not. Yeah.
So I done what do you call it? I don't forget a presentation. Couldn't get to come out there.
Well,
hello, everybody.
That was good.
Anybody watching us? We're glad to have you here. Don't be scared to talk to us. We won't bite, I promise. But I'm Norma, and that's Echo.
I'm Echo.
And the real life happens. So be sure to say hi to us. And if you like us, subscribe. Push that bell button. Comment. Leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. If we ain't doing or if we are doing. But tonight, I wanted to talk about ADHD. I have 2 children that have it myself. Plus, I have a grandson that still has it. So, I wanted to discuss that. I know a lot of parents go through it with kids. So, figured it'd be something to talk about. How you been, Echo?
Oh, good. I'm just a little wet from the pool. My hair's still wet. But it's true now with kids back in school, they definitely need to be on their medication if they take medication.
Yeah. Because they ain't gonna get nowhere.
Nope.
But I'm going to bring my presentation up, put us to the side.
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about ADHD. Just a few facts, and then I've got a whole bunch more here. This is our disclaimer. We are not doctors. We can't tell you if your child has it or if you have it. So if you see any of the signs, you might want to check it out with your doctor. Make sure, because kids can really use help if they have it. It's amazing how many kids in this world now does have it. And even adults has it just as bad as kids do. So it's something else. Okay. I tried to print this off. And yeah, okay. Because I couldn't read that little writing. Okay. I can't read this little writing. I'm blind and no matter what I do. Mm-hmm. Okay, attention deficit hypertension disorder is what it's called. There's 2 types. There's the intensive, and then the hypertensive, and the impulsivity. The intensive often fails to give close attention to details to make careless mistakes in schoolwork, at work, or doing other activities. Often has difficulty sustaining attention in tasks or play activities. Has difficulty remaining focused during lectures, conversations, or reading lengthy writing. Often does not see to listen when spoken to directly. Their mind seems to wander off even in the absence of its distraction, anything distraction. Often does not follow through on instructions and fails to finish schoolwork, chores, or duties in the workplace. Starts tasks but quickly loses focus and is easily sidetracked. Fails to finish schoolwork on household chores, tasks, and workplaces. Often has difficult organized tasks and activities. Difficult managing sequent tasks. Difficulty keeping materials and belongings in order. They're messy, disorganized. Their work's poor time management tends to fail to meet deadlines. Avoids, dislikes, or reluctant to engage in tasks that require substantive mental, like schoolwork, homework. Older and adults prepare reports, completing forms, and reviewing lengthy papers. It's hard for anybody to sit down and do them. If they're hyper, they often fidget or tap hands and feet. That's where my oldest son does that. He sits and makes noise and just moves his legs all the time or something. He moves something. Often leaves seat in situation when remaining seated is expected. Leaves his or her place in the classroom, office, or other workplace in or other situations that require remaining receipt. I got one that does that. Often runs about or climbs in situation where there is approximate may be uh, may be limited to feeling restlessness. Often unable to play or engage in leisure activities quietly. Is often on the go, acting as if driven by a motor. Yep.
Mm.
Often talks excessively. This is Eli made over. Often bursts out with answers before questions have been completed. Often has difficulty waiting his turn, his or her turn, while waiting in line. Or like the teacher wants to ask something. Often interrupts or intrudes on others, uh, like on games, activities, butts in without asking. He does stuff without asking permission. Adults may intrude or into or take over what others are doing. So this this is a parenting strategy. I cannot get words to come out. I don't know what's wrong. Parenting strategies for children with ADHD. Provide them a positive attention. Give affected instructions. Affected too. Praise your child's effort. Establish the rewards. Uh, Use constant consequences so they don't follow through. I know Natalie, I have to tell three, four, five, I don't know how many times to do something before I can get her to even get going. What are you doing, Lucy? I'm on live doing ADHD. There's one left. Here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You mix the keep it. Yeah, no. Right down it out. Wait a minute. Oh, already said a cookie and she went crazy. Well, no. Okay. This is gender difference in ADHD symptoms. Boys and girls can display very different ADHD symptoms, which may be why boys are 3 times more likely to get ADHD diagnosed than girls. Boys' symptoms are more obvious and external, impulsive or acting out, hyperactivity, running and climbing, lack of focus, intimidative, physical aggressive, such as hitting. That's 12.9 boys. Girls' symptoms are less obvious and often more internal, being withdrawal, low self-esteem and anxiety, imperative, impairment in attention, attentiveness, a tendency to daydream, which Natalie does that. She goes into her own little world. Verbal, aggressive, teasing, taunting, and name calling.
She does
I
that.
don't know. Yeah, her and her brother's real
I was
good
gonna
at
say
that.
she teases and taunts Eli something awful, doesn't she?
Yeah, she just she can't keep her hands off of him, and that's a lot of problem that we have. And then he gets mad, and then it's fist up. Here we go.
Yep.
Okay, defining ADHD symptoms. Often frigid, squirms about when seated, is easy distracted, talks out of turn, has trouble with following through, has difficult staying on task, shifts rapidly from one task to another without completing the first task or activity, seems unable to play quietly, talks excessively, frequent interruptions or intrudes, seldom listens attentively, is disorganized, loses assignments, pencils, and toys, often seems unaware of consequences, and uh, so engages in potential danger behavior. Everybody's deciding to come downstairs tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We have 6.4 million number of U.S. students, aged children, that have been diagnosed. I think it's 11 point something million that, uh, what was it? It said 11 point something million of adults that have it still,
Wow.
that didn't outgrow it. And it can be outgrown. Uh, I read most of this. Let me see. Okay, I was gonna. The cause of ADHD. Scientists are studying causes, the risk factor in the effort to find out a better way to manage and reduce the chances of a person having ADHD. The cause and risk factors from ADHD are unknown, but current research show that genetics play an important role. Recent studies link genetic factors with ADHD. Uh, in addition to generic science, are studying other possible causes and risk factors, including brain injury, exposure, exposure to environment risks during pregnancy or at a young age, alcohol and tobacco use during pregnancy, premature delivery, low birth rate. I'm sorry. Hold on. Go through, Natalie. Go through, please. Natalie, Eli, okay, whatever. You can't talk to me now. Everybody wants to talk to me now. Nobody talked to me all day. Low birth weight research does not support the popularity health views that ADHD is caused by eating too much sugar, watching too much television, parenting, or social environment factors such as poverty or family co- coasis. Of course, many things, including these, might make symptoms worse, especially in certain people, but the evidence is not strong enough to convince and conclude that they are the main cause of ADHD. And if they decide that how they diagnose them is deciding that the child has ADHD is a process with several steps. There are no single tests to diagnose ADHD, and many other problems like anxiety, depression, sleep problems, and certain types of learning disabilities can have similar symptoms. One step of the process involves in having a medical exam, including hearing and vision tests, to rule out other problems with the symptoms like ADHD. Diagnosing ADHD usually includes a checklist for rating ADHD symptoms and taking history of the child from the parents, the teachers, and sometimes the child. Uh, the treatment is usually physical, speaking to the family. In most cases, ADHD is best treated with a combination of behavior therapy and medication. For preschool age children, 4 to 5 of age with ADHD, uh, behavioral therapy, particularly training for the parents, is recommended, and uh, it's the first line of treatment for the young ones. Therefore, treatment before medication is tried. What works can depend on the child and the family. Good treatment plan will include close monitoring, follow-ups, and making changes if needed along the way. Uh, Many you can do stuff to help the ADHD at home. Uh, Number one is staying healthy. Being healthy is important for all children and can be especially important for children with ADHD. In addition to behavioral therapy and medication, having a healthy lifestyle can also be easier for your child to deal with ADHD symptoms. Here are some of the healthy behaviors that may help. Developing healthy eating habits such as eating plenty of the fruits, uh, a lot of the vegetables, whole grains, and choosing lean protein sources. Particular participating in a daily physical activity based on age, limiting the amount of daily screen time from TV, computers, phone, and other electronics. Getting the recommended amount of sleep nightly based on the age. Uh, if you have concerns with your child, you can take your child to a specialist, such as a child psychologist uh, and a child psychiatrist, or a development pediatrics, or you can contact your local early intervention agency for children under 3 or public schools for children 3 and older. Uh, there's different types, it goes into different types of uh, ADHD. There's uh, there's a lot of information out there if people really want to find out about ADHD. Um, we'll take a look at this one program. Um, It's it says people with ADHD are more likely to be energetic, spontaneous, creativity. I can't hardly read it. It's so little. At the great end of crisis. I hate to be on the phone trying to read this. I'm sorry. I should have made it bigger. Oh, this is so. Um, but there's you can go under search under ADHD if you need information. There's all kinds of information out there. Uh, but it's best if you go to talk to your teachers. Ask them, is your child behaving in the class all right, or are they having trouble? Usually, a teacher will come to you if they're having trouble with the child. Um, I know mine, Natalie and Eli's did. They'll come to you and tell, especially if they'll have a learning disability, which it affects their learning because they can't sit still or they like Natalie. Her problem was always her was she goes off into her own little world, and they had to bring her back, and then she wouldn't hear what they were saying, you know. And Eli, he was more aggressive, to talking loud, uh, out doing his turn, wanted to answer all the questions, you know, or like when he's doing this reading, uh, he wanted to go next, and he'd get agitated that he couldn't. So that's when I took him to have him tested for ADHD. And but women and men, the like my son's got this thing. I don't know what it is. This to do with ADHD, but they said it did. But he wants everything open. Uh, when his wife was having the babies, he had to open all the diapers. Drove her nuts. Uh, if he got anything new and she wanted to keep it in plastic, he opened it up anyway.
Hmm.
Um, but he sits around. He's nervous. He's on medicine, which is helping some, but he had it real bad as a young child, and when he had it, that's when they didn't know that much about it, and I had to fight for him at school. It's a lot easier now. You can get him on a IEP, which
Mm-hmm.
helps the school. The school will help them learn at their own pace instead of pace like they do now. But I just can't get nothing going then. I tell you, nothing wants to come out of my mouth tonight. I practiced it so much that I practiced too much, I think.
Probably.
And but it's really a lot of concern because we're having a lot of kids that are, you know, having ADHD, and some adults, you know, it can help them lose their jobs and stuff. So
Right. And what I don't understand, because, my daughter's a school teacher, and she'll say that some of the parents don't even want them tested and don't want
yeah,
to get them on medication. But, if their child had some other problem, you would get them checked and you would put them on the
yeah.
necessary medication. So it's just odd to me that, they don't want
Well,
to.
they can recommend the medication. They don't have to take the medication.
Right.
There is other ways that you can control ADHD, but some kids are so bad that they have to be on the medicine.
Right.
Uh, and then the therapy helps. The therapist, they help them learn why they're anxious. Why they do outbursts, talk all the time. Uh, you know, and a lot of kids is, I know it's hard to think, but little ones is even stressed so
Yeah.
much now because they have to learn so much so fast that it's really put stress on our kids as young as little ones.
Yeah.
And I mean, to learn all this just in a little bit of time that you got to learn it, you know, I said they stress them out too bad. And but there's other ways. There's nature's ways. There's different ways that you can find to help control ADHD.
Hmm.
And then there's ADD, which is just a learning disability. It's but that if they need help in school, fight for them. Get this IEP is what it's called, I think. IEP, yeah. But like, see, I'm fighting now for Eli and Natalie, get them on an IEP, uh, because they they're slow on doing their homework. A lot of it they don't understand. They got to be explained more than a normal child would.
Hmm.
And if they're having trouble, you can't tell them go up and ask the teacher, because some teachers don't. They're trying to understand it, but a lot of them still don't understand it. And
Exactly.
that way, it gives them a teacher. Don't mean it don't mean they're dumb.
No.
That's what I tell mine all the time.
And most
They're
of them
just
are
as
highly
smart.
intelligent. Yeah.
Intelligent. Yeah, they're very smart. It's just their brain, ADHD, their brain runs so much that they can't slow it down. Their
Right.
thoughts, everything. It goes a lot faster than ours would,
Hmm.
say. And it's hard for them to slow it down to think. And they
And I
need
think too,
help.
a lot of it is they're doing one thing and they get a distraction, and so
Yeah.
their mind goes somewhere else, but they're supposed to still be doing this, and
Yes. Yeah.
they've done moved on to something else, or
Something else.
whatever
Yeah,
they're
because it
doing
don't
made
take
them think of
much.
something, and
Yeah. It don't take much to distract them either. That's the
mm-mm.
problem. But
But even kids that don't have it, some kids have
some,
trouble just concentrating, and
yeah.
sometimes they're not getting the explanation from the teacher that they need. And
Yeah.
then when they try to do the homework, the parent doesn't understand what they're supposed to do. And then the child gets frustrated and then has a problem,
And
doing the
then they'll
homework.
start acting out. They'll
Yeah,
start acting out. And it
right.
not
And then
all kids has got ADHD.
no, right. And I was just going to say, a lot
It
of
could
kids are
be,
bad,
yeah,
misbehave in school, and it has nothing to do with any kind
do
of
with the
problem. It's just
problem. It's,
them. It's a behavioral issue, you know.
they get agitated, and if they can't learn it and keep up with the other kids, of course they're going to get agitated.
Hmm.
But you got so much thrown at you, so much, you know, your little brain, some little brains can't handle all of it. Some can handle all of it, some can't.
Well,
So,
and then too, I think a lot of kids will, um, especially if they feel like they're being pointed out as being different, or having something different about them, then they'll try to do something to kind of cover for it, and maybe act out in a different way,
like,
that so like the attention isn't on, oh, I'm hyper. The attention is
yeah,
on the fact that I'm just a tough guy. I'm just gonna fight,
or I'm trying to
or
be a
whatever.
class
Yeah,
clown.
yeah, exactly. And
Because,
it really
see, Eli
doesn't
tries
matter.
to hide his by being a class clown, getting
Yeah,
in trouble all the time for talking out or getting up out of his seat. He does that. Like I said, he don't want to be bullied. And a
right.
lot of kids get bullied for it because they think they're dumb. They're called names and everything else. And so they act out. They're a class clown
Hmm.
because he can't learn as fast as a normal child can. And
Well, and see,
because he needs to
that's
slow his brain
partially the
down.
parents' fault and the teacher's
Yeah,
fault for not, explaining the fact that everybody learns at a different
their
pace.
pace. Yeah,
Everybody, some people are good in math and they're not good in reading, or vice versa. And I think when you make them feel like they all should be on the same level and be able to do the same thing as everybody else, and if not, then something's wrong with you. That's where it
yeah,
starts to have problems.
Problems.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, they really need to teach kids, nowadays that everybody really is on their own path.
Yeah.
And you still have to do the same work as everybody else, but you may go about yours a little different. And that's okay. Different is not necessarily a bad thing,
Bad thing. Yeah.
you know.
But
But
I know
yeah,
kids are mean these days. They're rude, disrespectful.
well,
A
and they
lot.
learn that at home too, you know.
Yeah.
And some kids are being treated that way by their parents.
Yeah.
And so they just, that's just how they've learned to
Yeah.
communicate, you know?
Like, God, I forgot her name. Unless she walked in somebody's shoes, don't judge them
That's right.
because you don't know what's going on in their life.
No, you sure don't.
And when you find out, it could really hurt you because you didn't know and you're making fun of them for things. You know, some kids might not have the best parents at home.
That's right.
Some might, you know,
That's
and
two
you ought to
things.
teach your kids. Don't look at the outside books.
Yep.
Don't
That's two
judge it.
things I taught Allison. First of all,
Yeah,
I didn't care how pretty she was or how smart she was or how well off she was. All I cared about is that she was the nice girl, that
girl.
she
Yeah,
befriended the underdogs and that she, didn't make fun of anybody else and that kind of thing. And the second
yeah.
thing was,
That's
not everybody thinks the same way that you think. And not
yeah,
everybody, lives the same way you live. So sometimes people are doing the best they can with what they have and where they're
have
at in their life. And all it takes is one little comment and it can just crush their spirit. And
yeah.
so you can't just assume everybody has a mom and a dad that
Dad.
work, that have money and take you places and do things with you and all that. You can't assume that. You have to realize everybody's situation is different. And I'm so
Uh-huh.
proud of her because she always, I mean, whether it was a student from another country that came in and had a, language barrier and had a problem with that, or if it was the child that had learning disabilities, she befriended them all. And she would
Yeah,
come and sit with me, come, I'll help you, or I'll, be your friend or whatever, and that was really important to me that she understood, you don't judge people. And one day when she was real little going to preschool, one of the kids called me fat, said your mom is fat, and she was all upset for me. And I was like, that's not the first time I've
yeah,
heard that, and
yeah,
really truly it's true, they're telling you the truth, I am fat.
yeah.
It's not a nice thing to say to
To
somebody.
say,
And
yeah,
that parent was like, really mad at their child and really getting onto him. And I said, no, you have to teach them that you don't point out the obvious. Like if somebody
obvious.
wears glasses or somebody's in a wheelchair or somebody's old. My daughter pointed out one day in the grocery store, this man was really wrinkly. And she said, man, you must be really old. And it's like, no, 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 no. You don't say that to somebody. But I mean, they have to be taught when they're little tiny kids that
Yeah,
people know what's wrong with them and you don't have to point that out.
you don't. Yeah, you don't have to tell
Think
them.
of something nice to say or don't say anything. you
Yeah,
know
that's what
so
I
I
tell
always
Natalie.
knew when my daughter thought somebody had something wrong with them, she'd say, that's a pretty dress you have on, or that's a pretty shirt you're wearing or something. And I would know in her
I
little
have a
mind.
bad thing with
Yeah,
Natalie. If
you know
somebody's different, she'll sit and stare at them. I said,
yeah,
"You don't stare at people.
yeah,
That's very, very, very rude.
yeah,
You don't stare." She said, "Well, I didn't mean to. It's just, you know." I said, "You have to break yourself from that. That is not. You don't do that."
that's
And I
right. Well,
said,
one good
"Just
thing.
because they're a little different than you, don't mean that you're better than them." I
Right,
tried to teach my kids, "You are not better than nobody."
right,
No, I didn't say. I just said you got to break yourself from staring at people if they got something like a wheelchair or
yeah,
something different than you do, because you're no better. You might. The way I tell mine is, I don't know if I do it right, but I've always told them, you ain't no better than nobody, and nobody's better than you.
That's right.
You're not perfect, and they're not perfect.
And they're not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. I said the one that was perfect, they hung on a cross.
That's
And
right.
I said, you know, you might have a little more than somebody else does, but don't make you better.
No,
They might have a nicer home than you do.
that's right.
So what?
That's right.
You at least
Or
you got a
something
home,
terrible might
where a
have
lot
happened
of
and they
kids
don't,
don't.
they might
Yeah,
be in a foster home or something. You
yeah,
don't ever know what people's
yeah.
situations are. Yeah.
And
So
I told them, I said, unless you've walked in their shoes, don't dare judge them. You
no.
don't judge nobody. I said, they might not do something you like, you know, and I'm really on the word hate,
Oh yeah,
that
I don't
I
like that
will
either.
not let them say I hate something. I say you might dislike this, or you might not like.
You don't care for
Eli
it.
said
Yeah.
is Eli said he hated this mom. I said, no, you don't hate her.
You
You
love
might
her,
not
but you
like
don't like what she does. Yeah.
loves, yeah. And I said, you might not like how she lives the life and what she does, but you don't never hate nobody.
No,
That's not
that's
something you
wrong.
have in your heart. I said, and if you don't forgive people, I always tell them you can't go to heaven unless you forgive. You have to forgive. That's a strong thing in the Bible. You have to forgive, even though you don't have to forget, but you
Yeah, you
have to
don't have to
forgive.
forget and you don't have to ever trust them again,
Trust me.
but
Yeah,
you have to forgive the fact that whatever they did from wherever they were at,
yeah,
and that was on them. It wasn't anything about you. But that's a real hard thing to understand,
yeah,
is that somebody can do something mean to you and it has nothing to do with you. It's because of
yeah,
something wrong with them. But it's hard because it hurts our feelings because we're human beings, and then we get our feelings hurt. And what do we want to do? We want to lash out, at the other person.
and I always tell them two
So
wrongs don't make a right.
that's exactly right. And even like, I'll use my
Yeah,
divorce as an example. Even though I didn't feel like I had done anything wrong to cause that to happen, now I can look back and I can say, whatever my part in it was, I'm sorry
yeah,
that I didn't know better or I didn't do better to save my marriage, but I didn't know it at the time. So you
yeah,
you have to be responsible for your own
yeah,
actions. So even though I didn't feel like I had done anything wrong, I still have to ask to be forgiven, because whatever my part in it was obviously wasn't the right thing. So
yeah,
I'm sorry for that. But just as in me forgiving my ex so that we can have a happy family now with my
yeah,
daughter and my granddaughter, why would I not forgive? I have all kinds of people have their own opinions about whether that was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And how can you go and stay at his house? How can you even see his wife? How can you be her friend? And it's like, but you got to understand that's not the way we're supposed to do people. And,
no,
and just because it didn't work out between him and I doesn't mean that he's a bad person. He's still my daughter's father, you
yeah,
know, and I don't want my daughter going through life, learning to hold grudges and not forgive people. She needs to learn sometimes you have to do
yeah,
it. You can
yeah,
be hurt, and you can take your time to think about a situation and to heal from it, but you still have to do it. You can't just
yeah,
say, I'm drawing the line in the sand and
line, yeah,
that's it. I'm never talking to that person again, or I'm going to make. And then to me, it was almost as if I kept that grudge against him, then I was also causing a problem between everybody else involved. Instead of letting it be peaceful and
yeah.
calm and loving, I would have made it be
And you
uncomfortable
would
for
have caused
everybody else.
yourself to have
And I
harm,
and I would
hatred.
have had to miss out
Yeah,
too. And I
just
would have
like
been
I
I
told
would have felt
Eli. I said, when you say you hate your mom, you don't hate her, because I said the anger you hold inside of you, you got to let out, because it's like this. all you're doing is hurting yourself. You're not hurting them because they don't know it. They
Mm-mm.
don't know it. They
No.
don't know you hate them. They don't know, because they're never around to know anything.
No, and they're probably sitting there thinking, well, what's wrong with him? Why won't he,
Yeah,
I'm his mother. He should love me.
yeah,
Well, okay, but, she needs to apologize to him
yeah,
for whatever it is, that he feels like she's done him wrong. She needs to apologize for that.
yeah.
And then maybe he would be able to forgive her,
Sure.
you know. But he's not wrong in having those
No,
feelings. I mean, he's
no,
allowed
he's
to have
not. I mean, yeah, I told him, I
but
said, you're allowed to have them,
yep,
but I don't want you hating no one.
no.
I
And
said,
and he
you
can't
need to come
hold that
out and
anger
tell
in.
her. Yeah,
Yep.
you need to get your anger out. If
Mm-hmm.
you're angry at them, tell them you're angry at them.
That's right.
Don't stand there and let them act like everything's hunky-dory when it's not.
Right. Right.
He said, well, I don't talk to her. I said, Eli, you need to talk to her. That's the problem.
That's
You
part of the
need to talk
problem.
to her and
Exactly.
your dad and tell them exactly what is bothering you and why you feel the way you do.
And tell
And
him
I
too
said,
that,
they need to know.
but tell Eli that adults sometimes don't understand how kids look at things and how,
Yeah.
how it's affecting him. And that's
Because they
why
look
it's
at
important for
things
him to
different than
tell.
we do.
Right.
Yeah, they
And
look
he needs
completely different.
to try to explain it to them so that they'll understand where he's at and how he took everything, as
Yeah,
opposed to them just thinking, well, he's a kid, he didn't know nothing, or whatever.
you don't
No,
know
and even
better.
I think kids, even if they don't have any knowledge of any bad things happening or, anything like that, just they can tell you, kids can sense if you're unhappy in a marriage or you're having,
Yeah.
problems or whatever. Even if you don't even have to say nothing to them, kids
Thank you.
always know. They know.
Yeah, they sure do. They
So,
say they don't know, but they look at things different than we do. And
well,
I
and
mean,
I'm a firm believer in what they say, that within the first 6 years, that the child's whole their
yeah,
emotions and everything is set by the time they're 6 years old. So
yeah,
anything that happens to them before 6 years old can really affect the way that they are going to grow up.
yeah,
And that has a lot to do with it. My friend's little boy that I was so close to, he he was, I want to say maybe 9 months old or so when they split up, and he went to live with his dad, and so his mom only got him, very sporadically, and there would be months and years in between him seeing her and everything, but that's his mom, and he loves her.
yeah,
And no matter how bad they say she is or how much she messes up and what she does, he still loves her. And that's his mom. And one day, he's going to be old enough to be able to say
say,
that I love you, Dad, and I love my stepmom, but I love my mom too. And you got to be okay with that.
yeah,
And that little fella, I tell you, he was so wise beyond his years. I mean, he would say things to me at 6 years old. I mean, we had conversations that I haven't had with grown adults. I mean, he was a smart cookie. And I felt so bad for him that, his family had split up like that. And it just, and they wanted to make it like the stepmom was his mom and not let him have two moms. You can't
see,
do that.
that's the way with her. She every time she'd take them down there, she'd have somebody there. Well, this is your new daddy or your new whatever. And then my son done the same thing. And I said, look, you got one mom, you got one
One
dad.
dad. That's right.
Yeah. They're not raising you. Yeah. Me and Papa's raising you. You do
But
not
just like
call nobody else.
you didn't say, call me mom,
No.
call him
No.
dad. You said, I'm Mama and he's Papa, and you have a mom and a dad.
Yeah.
And that's where a
They
lot of
asked me one time if they could call me mom and dad, and I said, well, I'm not your mom, and Papa's not your dad.
Yep.
I said, every now and then that's all right. You know,
And
if
you
it
can love us
slips,
like you would love your
yeah.
parents,
I
but it
said,
is different.
but I said, you do have a daddy and you do have mom, and you know them both.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'd rather you not because I'm your mama. And I said, I'm raising you. Yeah, I raised Dylan. He still calls me mama.
Mm-hmm.
He called me mom there for a while. Sometimes he still calls me mom.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, he calls me woman. I say, hey, woman. I say, I'll make you think, hey, woman. Being a smart aleck then. And,
Uh-huh.
but, uh, like I told them, Natalie calls me mama. She calls me Mimo. She calls me Mimi. She calls every, too many to mention. And it's like, what? What do you want, child? She says it so much, I get so tired of hearing it some days. I feel like just screaming. Seriously, I feel like screaming. I said, you're like a little 2-year old learning how to talk, saying mama all
Mm-hmm.
the time.
Yeah.
And it's about nothing. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I wouldn't even know if anything's important anymore because you all are mammals so much. I swear I would.
You're gonna have to tell them the story about the boy that cried wolf.
Yeah. It's like,
Well, that's
uh,
like with my granddaughter. I make sure I say I'm Granny, this is Mommy, this is Daddy, and I'll tell
yeah,
her what her name is. And then even like tonight when I took them home, I said, "Now you be good to your mom and dad this weekend. You know, you'll see Granny come Monday, but you better be good
yeah,
girl for them." But sometimes she won't go to my daughter and she wants me to keep her, hang on to me. And then
yeah.
sometimes once my daughter has her, she won't even tell me goodbye. It's just like, okay, you can leave now. It's like,
Like, whatever. I
whatever.
got mommy now. I got
Yeah.
mommy now.
But I'll tell you what, my
I
daughter
get
is
tickled
enjoying
out.
having that time with her in the evenings now. And it's a lot better. It was easier on me just to let her stay and not have to, have her disrupted and everything, but it's better for both of them to be together like that. So it's good.
I see my baby girl last night. She came by.
Yeah,
I
you
said,
said she going back to work.
yeah, she's a security guard of all things. I'm like, I can't
She's
believe you're doing that.
a tough
Yeah,
woman.
she is. She is. She's tough. I said, well, we always tried to raise her that she didn't know. We didn't want her to depend on a man.
Yeah,
Uh, that she had to make it on her own. She didn't need
be
a man.
independent. Yep.
Yeah, because we didn't want her, thinking that she had to get married, have kids, all
Mm,
this thing, and she didn't want to,
right. Right.
And she said, Mom, you taught me well. I don't need a man. I can survive on my own. I said, but you got a man. She said, yeah, but some days I wish I didn't. I said, all married
Well,
couples do.
that's like my daughter. She was like, well, once I got divorced, she said, well, I guess you're anti-marriage then. And I said,
Hmm.
no, I'm not anti-marriage, but I'm pro independent woman who can
Yeah,
take care of themselves. And if you find somebody to love and they love you, that's all the better. But you
yeah,
don't have to have that income or, you
um,
know, put up with
yeah,
nothing because of an income or anything like that. So, I mean, I thought I had my knight in shining armor and I'd live forever, happily ever after.
yeah,
So I didn't care if I had anything in my name. I didn't care if I had credit. I didn't care. I just thought that's how my life was going to be. I never knew I was going to be by myself and have to try to apply for a loan. And they're like, you have no credit. Ooh,
yeah.
okay. I didn't realize that I
I was
needed
really
that,
shocked she
you
got
know.
married when she did because she waited till she's 38 now. She's been married almost 2 years. She was almost 36 before she got married. And I was really shocked that she even got married. because she she wanted her way and her way only, and
Yeah.
she had to, I mean, she's been with him 13 years,
Yeah.
but it's like, and then all of a sudden they just decided to get married, and it's like, oh, okay. Um,
Well, I was proud of my son-in-law that he wanted to get married. You know, he wasn't one of those that just wanted to live with her. He wanted to marry her,
yeah,
and I was like, hey, as long as y'all know what you're getting into, and y'all make sure that you're going to take care of
yeah,
each other, and everything. But luckily, my daughter's smart because she took my mistakes and the things that didn't work in my marriage, and she's not doing those same things. She's doing better in hers. So I'm proud.
yeah,
I'm proud of both of them. They're good together. It's amazing to me because they're like the odd couple. I mean, you look at them,
yeah.
and you talk to them and you think, what do y'all see in each other?
That's like Brandy and Cato. It's like Cato goes, what was it he said last night? He goes, oh, he's talking about we sitting out there and the mosquitoes was eating us up. He said, if you want to get mosquitoes ate up, he said, come over to where we live. He said, we got all the black mosquitoes over there. They eat all our black skin. And I said, he said, well, I'm black. They're going to eat it. I said, I don't know. He said, they don't like Brandy's white skin. I'm like, you are so mean to her. No wonder she gets mad at you all the time. And I'm like, he does that to her all the time. He goes a little, because he's real dark. And
Uh-huh.
Natalie, Brandy's light skin. She don't tan. Love her, she don't tan.
Allison doesn't either. Allison's about as white comes.
And it's like, he goes, I gotta get her somehow. She's always getting me. I said, you better watch. She's mean now. I'm telling you, she'll beat the crap out of you.
And they
She
always
did her
tease
brothers.
about my daughter's husband being a vampire because he keeps the house pitch black. And sometimes you walk in there and all you can see is his eyes. Everything else is
That's
totally black.
Kato. That's
And it's
Kato.
like, I see
I
you
told him,
over there.
I said, somebody scare somebody to death in a dark alley. He said, wouldn't I know? I could hide good. I said,
Mhm.
yeah. I said, him and Buster get along fine. But Buster's got brown eyes. You couldn't see Buster. He's
Yeah.
dark. He's he's dark all the way. And
Allison's been
he's
trying to braid the baby's hair, and she like French braided it.
I remember when Kalita's hair was
Top,
like that.
and then she did the sides, but she her that baby's got too much hair for her to like braid it real tight braids.
The
So I
tight
mean,
braids.
it's still she still has lots of hair. But anyway, the baby kept taking and pulling on the end of the braid where she had the little hair bow thing on there.
Does she
And
have a trouble with her brushing it out? I
no,
know Brandy used to with Kalia. She'd
she she
scream,
puts
fight, holler.
she puts
Oh, that
that
child would go off the. She put some kind of
leave-in.
grease, oil,
She
or
puts
something
a
on it.
leave-in detangler on her
Yeah,
hair after she washes it, and then all you have to do is spray a little water on it and kind of you know work it through the hair again. And then and her hair, even though it's really curly, it's like you can actually take a straight edge comb and you can comb right through those curls and pull her hair up, and it'll be straight, and when you let go of it, it back into
oh,
curls.
see, Mariah's got the her second daughter, her first daughter, second daughter. She's got a son, and then she's got two daughters. Uh, Mariah's hair is like ours, but it's real curly,
Uh-huh.
and she never had trouble doing hers. But Clea's is like coarse,
Yeah.
and she has a time, but she's the same age as Natalie now, but
Hmm.
her and Natalie's both the same. She
Yeah.
said they should have been twins. I said, well, it's family, you know.
Well,
I wonder, it runs in the family, I
yeah,
guess, from there.
she's trying to get the baby used to her fixing her hair,
Yeah,
doing something with it. But she's just got a lot of hair. She really does. But
yeah,
her
that's the way
hair is
Kalia
really
was.
soft. But it does go in those tight curls, And Alice, some days it's
Yeah,
like it'll be real tight curls, and it doesn't look like she's got that much hair. And then other days there'll be more loose curls, and it's like, God, that child's got a lot of hair.
yeah. When she straightens, does the flat
Yeah,
iron or whatever you call it on it, Kalia's hair is real long.
yeah.
She didn't realize how long it was until she started doing that. And she said, it's real long. And I said, yeah, I can. But when it's in its curls, it's way up here. You would think she's got short hair, and she don't.
Mhm. Yeah, because you can take the baby's curl and you can just, I mean, and it'll be about that long when you unravel it, but I mean, it's going to curl right back up. But I
And
had
Malik's hair, he
that.
keeps it shaved on this side. Him and Dylan look alike. I swear they do. They do their hair the same. Malik, Mariah's real light complected, like a white person. Clea's like dark, and then Malik's like in between.
Hmm.
Uh, but he keeps his hair cut real short here, and then real curly on top, and that's the way Dylan does. He got a perm in his, and it's all curly up here, and then, and I said, Dylan ain't, he's all white, but he, his hair, I swear, when he was a child, he had the curliest hair I ever seen on a baby. I mean, little girls would have died for
Yeah.
Dylan's hair, and
Mm-hmm.
it's still curly, but he went and had a relaxed wave put in it. I guess is what you call it, and
Mm-hmm.
it curls up, but it curls up real fine. He come over day after getting it. You got it cut real short on the sides, and then left the top long. And I'm like, boy, then had it. He's got a little blonde to it. I said, oh, you don't want to be dark headed like the rest of us. He said, no, I want some blonde in my hair. I said, tell you the truth.
Mm.
That boy,
That's fun for him, though, to
yeah.
experiment.
He's back in school again now, and they're working him a lot of hours, and he's got a lot of classes. I said, are you going to be able to do it? Yeah, I'll stay up on it, Memo. And Julie, she's working, uh, she's teaching high school. Uh, she does handicapped kids.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but she's doing the high school. Last year she done like third graders,
Mm.
and this year she got high school ones.
Mm.
And they don't have much time. They might see each other once a week now. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, okay. Yeah, he got a new roommate, and he ain't met him yet. He's never seen him, been there to see him when he comes in or anything. And she's having a fit. Do you know who he is? Do you know anything about him? And he's like, no, really don't care nothing about him. And she goes, you need to find out who he is. I need to know who he is. I need to do a background check on him, make sure that he ain't gonna hurt you. Like this girl, she ain't this big. I swear she's a little tiny, but she she's from Russia. I mean, she
Mm.
don't talk to Russia or nothing, but she was born in Russia, and the parents that got her adopted her,
Oh,
and
okay.
but she said, I want to get a phone call saying my boyfriend's dead, and I'm like, what's she think he's gonna do? Walk in your room and kill you? She said, yeah. She wants a background check done on him. I'm like, and the only reason she didn't on the other one is because she already knew him. But
Oh.
she don't know this one, and this guy's from Georgia. So
Oh.
she's had a fit because she don't know nothing about him.
Oh my gosh. But it's
I'm
through
like,
the school,
Lord.
right? The
Yeah, they.
roommates through the school?
Uh, I don't know if he's going to score or not. See, uh, the guy that lives with him don't go to school. The other guy that lives in, there's 3 rooms, and they share a big living room and a kitchen, and
Uh-huh.
they got their own utility. They don't have to go to school to live there.
Oh, okay.
It's just some kind of. I thought he was moving in like a where the school took care of it, but he
Yeah.
didn't. It's an apartment because they was the cheap. I thought, but they're more or less renting a bedroom, so they're renting.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
We have
they
those
get
here
the living
too.
room. Yeah,
Yeah.
they get they can use the living room or they use the kitchen, the laundry room, and all that. It's just they've got 3 separate bedrooms that they rent out,
Yeah.
and they haven't. He hasn't. They moved in last Sunday, so I'd say this one's probably since he come from Georgia is going to be going to school in Miami uh, because I don't think he moved from Georgia
Georgia to Ohio just to be going.
just going. Uh, but he said I did learn one thing. I heard his games going off, and me and him could get along because Dylan plays games.
Hmm.
I said, well, introduce yourself to him. He said, now you're acting like her. You want me to go up on the door and knock on the door and say, hey,
Well,
I'm
see,
so and
that's
so.
how guys are. They're going to wait until they're out in the living room or the kitchen at the same time. They're not going to go like knock on the door like we would do. We would be like,
Yeah.
"Hello."
Oh. He goes, I said, she don't know boys, does she? I said, now, just because the girls does it does not mean the boys can. They're more backward. They ain't,
Yeah.
hey, man, hey. I get tickled at her, though. She ain't big as a popcorn or something and going to do a background check. She wants to know if they need security.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
Lord
funny.
of mercy.
Hmm.
He's, she said, I'd hate to call your grandma. And I said, uh, yeah, that'd be a bad call, but I think you can trust him. I don't think they're going to. She thinks it. I don't know. She thinks everybody's a spy or something.
Well, but I would be more worried if he was overly pushy and trying to get in Dylan's business and stuff.
Mhm.
The fact that he's
But
keeping to himself.
the other boy that lives here, I think Dylan said they've talked about 4 times. His friends come out and talk to Dylan. Told him if he ever wanted to party with them, he's more than welcome. And Dylan said, "Well, I don't party, so but thanks anyway."
Hmm.
And but he talks to they text and stuff. The other roommate does, and they talk once in a while. And I said, you just got to give him time. Tell her to give him time. He'll introduce himself, or you can run into him, say, "Hey, I'm Dylan," and introduce yourself. You know. He said, "I will when I'm ready." I said, "I know Dylan. That'll be never ready. He don't care to know nobody." He said, "I don't even know how he got a girlfriend. To be honest with you."
Well, she probably did most of that introducing and
Yeah,
everything. She
yeah.
probably saw him and
He,
was like,
he
okay.
liked her forever, and then she finally come out and started talking to him. He didn't talk to her. He, he, he's too backwards to talk to anybody. I'm telling you. Yes, dear, it sure is. So tell Eli get down here, you know, do your business and go to bed. No, we ain't got school tomorrow. Wait a minute. I was thinking that. I don't know. Never mind, Natalie. Never mind. It ain't. No, I was thinking it's school night. Phew. I'll put you to bed on school night. No, no, you stay up a little bit longer unless you want to go to bed.
I only want to stay up a little bit longer if I can stay up 5 minutes.
5 more hours? No, you ain't staying up no 5 more hours. Why would you want to stay up 5 more hours? You're tired now. I can tell it in your eyes. I've been up since 4:30. I know I'm tired.
I've been getting up at 5. trying to get things organized, before I go pick her up. But
Y'all
I
had
just
a hard day today.
get to bed early enough.
Yeah,
I'll say, okay, I'm
I
going to be in bed by 10 o'clock. Next thing I know, it's 11:30, and
11, yeah,
you
or
know,
12.
it's like,
It's
oh,
like,
I'm not going to get enough sleep again.
I know you
And then I keep saying on the weekends, I'm going to still get up early. I'm so doggone tired by the end of the week. It's like I got to sleep on the weekend to get caught back up.
Hey, get caught up on your sleep there. I'll tell you.
Ugh.
Where you going? Don't wake Papa up. He's got to work. Natalie. He worked all day today. Usually he works like 4 hours and comes home and stays, then goes back 2 more hours. They worked him 10 hours and something today. He was wore out when he come home.
Wow.
Because he went to pain management and they got him on something to help his feet and his legs where they've been hurting him so bad.
Yeah.
He said they're helping, but he has to take them at the same time every day or they don't help.
Oh.
It seems like they don't work. It gets behind. They
Yeah.
run out before the other ones. He has to take 3 pills at once 3 times a day. So he takes, that'd be 9 pills. These little capsules. It's for nerves.
Yeah. Probably the same thing I take for my nerve damage, but how's he even walking awake? I mean, I take 2 at bedtime and that knocks me out. If I take
They're
any
little
more than
white
that,
capsules.
well, mine are yellow, but probably the same difference, same type of stuff for
They're
nerve
trying
damage.
him on them. And he said it helps with the nerve. It ain't so much pain as they was.
Yeah.
Because I said, well, that's good. After 11 years, I'm glad somebody found something that helps you. Because he's had a time.
I'm prescribed to take 3 of them 3 times a day. So that would be 9. But I just can't. I'm a Looney Tune if I do.
I know the first 2 days he's sitting here, after he take them, he'd be going. He started them on the days that he was off. I said, thank goodness, because he was going to sleep. He said, God, these things make me tired.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you want to hurt or you want to have relief. But
that's what he said.
I couldn't function well enough.
As long as he's up moving around, he don't get sleepy. But he said still.
I was taking them when I had torn my Achilles tendon and I had to be off work and everything. And I was like so forgetful taking them. I couldn't remember anything. And my daughter said I would talk like I'd be telling her something and then I would like go off on some totally different conversation and not even know that I switched the conversation and stuff like that. And so when we had went to the doctor one time, she told the doctor, she said, something's not right. She's not tracking good and stuff. And so the doctor said, well, that medicine for your nerves, have you increased that since you've been not working? And I said, well, yeah, because my leg hurts worse, And she's like, yeah, you don't need to take more of that. You need to back off on that and see if that changes it. And so now I just take 2 at night and I'm fine. But yeah, some people, I guess, are like that.
He takes them 3 times a day. The family doctor sent him the pain management and this. We got a new doctor up there, and he put them on him. He said he'd try them on him. I go Wednesday to pain management about getting shots in my back. The epidurals.
Yeah.
Epidurals, is that what they call them?
Yeah.
I just call them shots. It took me forever to figure out what kind of shot they was.
Ooh.
But I'm just going to talk to him because before I can get them, I have to quit. I'm on aspirin. I have to quit taking the aspirin because I'm not allowed to take an aspirin as long as they give me the shots. I said, okay.
Yeah.
I said, hopefully they work.
Because the aspirin thins your blood.
Blood, yeah.
Yeah.
But that it don't thin mine that much because there's some days when I prick my finger to check my blood. I have
And you have
to
to squeeze it. Yeah.
shake and twist, and especially this hand. I don't know what it is about this hand. Blood don't want to come out of it.
Is it your right hand or your left hand?
Yeah, my right hand.
Are you
I can get it
right-handed
on
or
my left
left-handed?
hand, and I'm right-handed.
Oh, see, I get my do all my poking on my left hand because I'm right-handed, so it's
Yeah,
easier to do it
that's the
that
only
way.
way I can get it. The blood come out is this one, my left hand. I told that nurse up there when she takes my blood for my check my A1C,
Hmm.
and I told her, I said, don't try this one. They can't even hardly get blood out of this arm. I got rolling veins in there.
Hmm.
Are you dying? I told you he's in bed and you're coming like a dying dog or something. I don't know about you, child. Swear I don't. What'd you turn the TV off for? You bored? Then go to bed if you're bored.
That's even more boring.
More boring. Not if you go to sleep.
I can get cut death by vet. No.
She could
What?
get possessed by who? I can't even say it now.
Vet. No.
She could get possessed by Vecna.
I could turn into Chrissy.
She could turn into Chrissy. I don't know what she's talking about. You've been watching a scary movie, ain't you?
It's called Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Okay, so she's in
That Stranger Things.
Yeah.
She gets put up on the ceiling, and then her bones go snap, crack, and pop.
Snack Crackle Pop.
And then
Oh,
she gets
God.
her eyeballs ripped out,
God help me.
and then she falls to the floor, and then Eddie's over there.
Oh, good.
What kind of show are you watching?
Stranger Things, I just told you.
I know Dylan show watches it, but he didn't say it was
Then we got 11.
that wicked.
Then we got 11 with Angela. Angela. And then Angela. Oh,
Does Eli watch it?
I don't know. And then we got her at the roller skating place. Angela. Boom. With a roller skate. Goes straight to her eyeball. She's on the ground.
God, you don't need to be watching
She's
that.
on the ground.
I bought this huge jar of
We got lemon
applesauce.
over here.
Thought that was a great bargain. Bought this because the baby loves applesauce.
Then we got 11.
Got it out yesterday. Went to set it on the
Me
counter.
too.
Missed the counter and dropped it and busted it.
Oh man,
And then we got Erica.
I'll tell you.
And then we got Erica.
Ah.
Spelling America with that.
She was between my legs trying to get in the refrigerator, and I was trying to get her out the refrigerator, shut the refrigerator, and set the applesauce down, and I missed the counter, and boom. So then I had to scoop her up because the glass broke,
Glass.
Had to scoop her up, go put her in the packing plate, get my shoes on so I could go out there, and then I'm like, now how am I going to clean this up? I ended up getting my broom and dustpan, and then I had to clean my broom and dustpan when I was done. Then I had to mop the floor because the applesauce, was
Sticky.
yeah.
It's nasty, sticky.
I was like, well, that was not a good bargain.
No, it wasn't. Not after that, was it?
Oh, goodness.
And don't you be trying to scare Eli. She
Mm-mm.
watches scary movies and then she'll try to scare Eli. Won't go to sleep. He'll have to have a light or something on. You can tell when Eli watches something scary, he has to have a light on. And I'm like, she has to sleep in our floor. I
Oh.
said, Natalie, you can't sleep in our floor. Yeah, I can. I said, no, you can't. Go get in your bed. I'll wake up half the time when she watches a scary movie and she's at the end of our bed and the floor. Got her a blanket on the floor, pillow, and then another blanket over her. I'm like, she said, but your floor is comfortable. I'm like, no, it ain't. My floor ain't. You've got thicker carpet on yours. Go sleep on your floor. Her carpet's thicker than anybody's in the house. It's like,
I
I
guess
guess,
the bad
whatever.
guy won't come and get her if she's in there by you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to get up one night and scare the crap out of her, make her think somebody's got her.
Yeah, well, you're lucky you don't trip over her when you get up.
Yeah, I know. I told her, that's why I told her. I said, Natalie, if I'm not awake and I get up, go downstairs to use the bathroom, I'm going to fall over you, and then we're both going to be in a mess.
That's right. And then somebody's going to be hurt.
No, you ain't moving into my room. No, you just need to stay on my floor so I don't fall. But you need to stay on my room, and I wouldn't fall over you. I've tripped over you before because she takes the whole end of my bed like this. She spreads out like this, her arms out like this, and her legs is out like that. And I've got to do like try to step over and around her, and
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, get in your own bed.
Allison used to like to sleep in the bed with me, but that's when I had a king size bed. Then I got my mom and dad's antique bedroom set, and it's a double bed, but that's still little. And here she come trying to lay in there with me. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna work. And she's a kicker too. She likes to kick at you and all that. I'm like, we can't sleep in the same bed.
Yeah, she wanted to sleep on Eli's top bunk bed one night, and I said, and Eli took the side rails off. I said, no. The way you move around in the bed, I'd hear a big thump. I know, but and I said, Eli's got the fireplace beside him, and then he's got a glass desk on the other side of his bunk bed. And I said, you would either kill yourself or be cut all to pieces. I said, no. I said, because you can't hold still. I said, Eli had to keep them railings up there because he turned so much. Because I've checked on Eli before in the middle of the night when he's sick or something, and he still does it. One minute he's laying sideways in the bed with his feet hanging over, and then he'd be down at the other end of the bed. I said, I don't know how you all move around so much. I don't. Yeah, you do. You move a lot. When you used to sleep with me, you used to kick the tar out of me. Yeah, you did when you was little. You slept with us all the time.
The baby sleeps on her stomach with her butt up in the air, with the blanket up under her head in the corner of the crib or the corner of the pack and play. It's like, okay, child.
Hush. You need to hush for a while. Your mouth's running too much. No, I'll get you ended. Well, I guess I'll get off here so I can put this child to bed or something because she's going to drive me nuts. I already see it coming. The other one's already asleep. They had what was it called today?
The other one is not asleep.
He was asleep.
When I walked up there, he was up there in his bed doing this.
Okay, he's lost it, but whatever. What'd you all have today? Emerge. At school, where the junior high gets to know all the kids. They had like pizza and stuff for lunch, and then they play games all day.
Oh, that was fun, I bet.
It's like a field day outside, but they had it inside.
Guess what?
So,
what?
I gave a soda to my crush.
You did? What did he say?
What did he say?
Thank you.
Thank you. And her crush is her brother's best friend.
Oh.
One of his best friends.
Oh.
Blood red hair.
It's not not blood red. It's
Yes, it is.
orange.
It's orange red. Still the same.
Will you leave me alone? You dating a gray hair. What you go?
Where'd she go? She done left me.
Don't even
She
fight
does
me
this.
now.
She done life so hard that she left herself off.
You were dating a gray/brown haired man.
Well, that's my husband. That might be why.
Yeah.
Okay.
His
There she is.
crush. Why is
You
she
voted
his
yourself
crush?
up.
I know. I hit the thing.
Yes, but still. Like,
Girl, I don't know about you. I'm going to tie your hands down when you're on live.
I know
you
it.
can't make fun of me if you're dating.
His name's Hunter.
Hunter.
Meemaw.
Yes, Hunter.
I guess she didn't want you to say that out loud.
No,
Why would you
just
do
no.
that?
Well, she don't know who he is.
But somebody else
I have
might.
to find
Somebody
I
watching
have to
this
find a
will-
picture of him and see if I can find him.
Somebody
So,
else
show
might
him.
know.
No.
Yeah, that's what she said. Somebody might be watching that knows us and knows about knows him.
Why would you do that to me?
Oh God!
She's dating an old man.
Yeah, I'm dating an old man.
You're dating an old man,
Yeah,
as in your husband.
yeah.
I call him a carrot top.
She calls Hunter a carrot top.
Carrot top.
Yeah.
Well, you might have carrot top children. You better be careful.
She said you might have carrot top children.
Carrot top
You better
children.
be careful.
What does brown and orange mean?
Ugly poopy color.
What does brown and blue make?
Ugly color.
What if the child has two different colored eyes?
That
Well,
can
they
happen.
look-
That can happen.
Yeah, it can happen.
It can happen.
What?
Got messed up with two different people.
I don't know about you, John.
So
I don't know about you. Let's see if I can turn this off.
I heard this mom on
Did it go
TikTok.
off?
What?
No, eating it. Here.
I saw this mom on TikTok. She's downright stupid. She said she got braces.
That was rude.
She said she got braces so her kids could have straight teeth.
She
Oh,
got braces so her kids could have straight.
Yeah, that probably won't help.
I don't think that'll help her
And then this
kids.
dude got a Invisalign saying, "Oh, I got a Invisalign so my kid could have teeth, not an overbite like me."
I wonder if those Invisalign actually work.
I don't
Oh, my
know.
friend Cammy has one. It is.
You did the
Braces.
Invisalign?
Yeah.
No, you're not giving braces. You don't need braces.
I'm saying my friend Abby
Oh.
and Elise.
She goes, Mama, come on. We said, Mama, can I get braces? And I'm like, no, they're very expensive for one thing, and you don't need them.
And if the
Right,
dentist doesn't tell you you need them, you don't need them.
I said, if you need them, the dentist will tell you, and he's not told you that you need braces.
Have an overbite and
I don't care if you have an overbite, underbite, whatever bite.
It's an underbite.
The dentist will tell you if you need braces or to straighten your teeth. Make them straight, not like lap over each other. Not that. I'm talking about in a line up here. They're not lapping over each other. And you ain't lost all your baby teeth yet.
I ain't lost all her baby teeth.
Well, he ain't said nothing about you getting braces.
Today,
And you go next month, so there. Get
What
your
is I bet you're gonna be in shock if he says she gonna need glasses. I guess she gonna need braces.
Yeah, where is your glasses? Talking about glasses.
I wasn't talking about glasses. I was
But
talking
where
about
is your
I don't
glasses?
know.
Here we go. We go through this every year. I don't know.
I just found some stuff with some passwords written on it, and I'm looking in the where I have my passwords written down, and they're not matching up.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know which passwords are new and which passwords are old. I obviously never know my password when I go to do something, so I have to end up
I try to write mine down in a book.
yeah, but then I end up having to go through and re reset my password
Yeah.
because I don't remember
Password
what
I
it
forgot,
is.
and I got to look up, as I wrote it in the book,
Okay.
is my security cameras,
Uh-huh.
so I can look at them bigger. Um, so I got to find the book. Instead of writing them in my book, I wrote them in the book, the handbook.
Oh.
Now I got to go back and hunt the handbook, go all through all my papers and find it. And I just ain't.
Well,
I said, well, whatever.
I just wrote these ones in beside the ones I have in the other. So we'll see. Next time I need to know a password, we'll try either one.
We're getting, Natalie, I'm getting ready to get off because it's been an hour and a half
It's
almost.
just that I just told you guys when
Yes.
you said it was
Okay. Whatever. You little shepherd dogs. Well, it's been a good night. So
Yeah.
we've been
I'm sure
going
people
for
will watch us on the replay.
hour and a half. Somebody's been watching us. I don't know who.
Okay.
Wish they say hello, but we've got to get people talking to us.
I know.
I promise we don't bite.
We will.
Full.
Yes, she does.
No, I do not. And I got things here.
We will eventually. They ever come check us out, they're going to see we got a lot of good content.
Yep. We're trying for you. All you got to do is say hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet everybody. Hopefully.
Everybody's busy. Everybody's got stuff going on. We might end up having to do it in the daytime. We might get better results.
Yeah, a lot of people put them on at lunch.
Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I tried, but that's a bad time because it takes forever to download them then because everybody's doing it, I guess. Because I tried to put one on at lunch one time and it's a short, forever. I didn't think.
It wouldn't upload.
Talking about it takes an hour or two to download them, and I'm thinking, what? That's a long time.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Keep Alice stuff, please.
Must be going to rain. My dog is barking.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get off here.
All right. Let me go get her.
Good night, everybody, and thank you for watching us. And remember to subscribe if you like us. Hit the like and
comment below.
Comment so we can get out there.
Comment.
Yeah, and hit the bell. Hit all
notifications on. Yes.
We get all of our information.
That's right. And we will see you Tuesday night, 7 o'clock.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.